Hello and welcome to my first sketchbook tour. In this video I'm going to show off a sketchbook that I completed last year, and it actually took me less than a year. Surprisingly, I'd say I've gotten a bit quicker at it, which is good. So let's get into it. So these first few pages have animals on them, because at the time I had a little bit of a hyperfixation with bears and a bit of owl bears, but mostly bears. So this is supposed to be a polar bear. This is maybe a brown bear. I'm not really sure. I was playing around with different head shapes as well. And here's just a sketch of a sculpture I made just to have for process images. Here are more bear drawings. So I was just going on Pinterest and finding a few references. Like I referenced an image for this one, and I redrew an image for this one. These ones were just freehanded. I was also looking at how other people drew bears as well for style reference. And I also tried drawing hares, and then also a rabbit here, but mostly hares, because I don't usually draw animals, so this was a bit difficult for me, but I found it really fun to do, just to experiment with drawing something else other than human-like characters. This next page is an OC of mine named Licht, and he's a half human, half demon hybrid. So this was when I started to redesign him. So it'd been a long time, but for some reason I suddenly had the inspiration to just try redesigning him. And these are the first sketches for it. So I was just playing around with different face shapes. And over here are drawings of Licht at different ages. So this is when he's like a newborn infant, maybe a toddler, and this is when he's maybe a preteen or in his teens. And also he's one of the main characters in a story that I've been writing since last year, or at least working on the world building for. It's currently titled Servant Stories, but I might change it later on. I still haven't done much for it. But this sketchbook ended up having a lot of concept art for the characters in that story. And so also here I drew this crack in the earth. I call them abyssal tears. And so they're just tears in the earth that when they're just like the ground just breaks open. So they're holes, but at some point into them they're a portal that leads to the netherworld, or the abyss, which is basically just hell. It's where he was initially from. And also in the story there are what I call alchemists. So these consist of mages, aka wizards, and also witches. So this is really early thought dumping about what I initially thought they could be like, sort of. And they all wield the natural elements to perform magical spells. But I'm still working on the magic system. It's really unfinished right now. These are early witch designs. I kind of imagine them living in deserts, maybe, because in my story they're not accepted by traditional alchemical society. So mages don't like witches because they perform magic using their body as a means of harnessing or like controlling the natural elements, whereas wizards use tools, so like wands or staffs or something. So yeah, here are other sketches of Licht when he's eventually makes his way back into the mortal human world. Just the human world, actually. And so this is when he's hiding in an alleyway, and this human guy named Flix finds him outside, and he's like all freaked out, and he's trying to cower away. And then these are the first ever designs of Flix, who ends up taking Licht in, because he learns, or he likes to study about demons and other mythics, or which are they're like mythical creatures, and he wants to learn more about them, so he takes him in to sort of study him. And here I was playing around with Licht's design more, because he also has 4 arms. I was trying to figure out how that would actually work realistically in terms of anatomy. So I was looking at like bone structure. It doesn't really make sense in terms of actual like how this would really work in real life, but it's just fun to play around with. And here's another character who's part of the story. Her name is Mubrata, and she's also a demon. She's kind of like mischievous and I guess evil, because she basically kidnaps humans and alters their physical appearances, so like basically surgery and mutilation, to make them into these unique, perfect beings. And here's just a sketch of a mage, kind of mysterious looking. Here I was playing around with different architectural studies. So I was kind of thinking about how the architecture in one of the cities in my story looks like. The city's name is Sergio. And so it's kind of, I was definitely taking inspiration from like Harry Potter and stuff like that. So I was also working with perspective. And here I was also planning for another unrelated artwork that I have yet to actually finish. And here I was just doing quick studies. This is like, I don't know, I was doing maybe like 30 seconds of just looking at images and just drawing what I saw. I never ended up filling it up. Here I was trying to study a bush I saw outside. Never finished this. Oh, and this was also more planning for the previous unrelated work that I just showed. So I was trying to show another one of my OCs, his nickname. I don't know if it's his nickname or his name, but he's known as the King. And he's basically being pursued by this other dude who's a vampire, who I've named the Hunter. And so he's like trying to run away from him. And the idea was to make a pop-up book. So it's like when you open it, it looks kind of 3D because stuff pops up. And this was going to be the Hunter kind of looming, and then the King was going to be kind of like in front, and he was going to look all paranoid. But yeah, still haven't finished that. Here is a short comic idea I had with Mubrata and 2 of her, I guess I call them servants, 2 of her servants, they're really just humans who she captured and physically altered. Here I was doing this design exploration for another one of my OCs. I think his name, he's a prisoner, so he has a serial number. I think his serial number is BO13, and he's a chameleon mutant. So here I was doing chameleon studies to get a feel for their anatomy. What was really messing me up though was the hands, because their hands look like this, since they're always like gripping onto trees. and other things in nature. So I'm trying to apply that to him, but it looks really weird. I think I just have to work with it more, because obviously I'm not used to drawing hands like that. And here I was trying different eye styles. So like I was thinking, because chameleons have like these kind of big eyes, but there's like skin over them. So I was thinking it's either like that with the lids, or they're just big human eyes that just bulge out of his head. Still not sure though. Here are just different poses I thought of for mages with like wands and spell casting. And then I was also referencing, these two are just from Pinterest images that I was just freehanding for fun. And then I also had the idea to make a new character who's a dog, and I named her Soleo, so it means sun. Oh, I just love drawing her so much. And I had the idea that she sells different materials and wares to mages in the main story that I've been talking about. So yeah, and this is just like a comic of like some random young mage buying wares from her, and he's like, I want the big staff, not the wand, because they're thinking, oh, staffs are more powerful because they're bigger tools or something, so I can wield more magic, which is wrong. Here's more drawings of Licht. So there are actually a lot of drawings of him. I was very hyper fixated with drawing him. And here's him with Mubrata, and oh, here's another character named Abel, who's another servant of Mubrata. So she likes to tease him a lot. He's really tiny, but he's actually like a grown adult. And here I was trying to play around with Mubrata's expressions, kind of, because usually she's pretty smug looking and like smiling all the time, but here, I don't know, I was trying to portray her in a different, less happy way. And this is just a sketch of Licht reading a book and lounging on some cushions. I ended up finishing this digitally, so I did line art and just flat colors. And here's an interaction between Murata and Licht. So in like the present time of the story, Licht is a hermit who studies magic, and at the same time he's trying to find a way to become immortal. He seeks immortality because he's a demon, so he's used to have a lot of human acquaintances, especially Flix, the guy who initially took him in when he was discovered in the human world. But they're all dead now, so he's like really upset about that. So he wants to become immortal, or like find a way for immortality to save other people. And Mubrata comes to visit him and teases him about being such a homebody. Like, he does not go outside. He doesn't touch grass. Anyways, short interaction between Flix and Licht here, because Licht initially wanted to start learning magic from a young age, but he was like, I don't know if I should teach you, because you're a demon. What if you try wreaking havoc and destroy my city? And he's like, bro, I don't care, just give me the wand. Here I was taking a break from OC stuff, and I was feeling bad. I mean, I still feel kind of bad, because I actually consume a lot of content online and kind of procrastinate on creating my own stuff. So this is supposed to be kind of me and my experience with making art, so people looking at other people's art and just being so inspired from it, but then also watching videos on YouTube and other social media just takes up a lot of my time, and I don't create as much as I want to, I guess. But at the same time, there's other responsibilities that I have to take care of. Oh, and also here I was kind of trying to show with the pupil how I'm prey to these distractions. Yeah. And here I did some brief brief seal drawings, just for fun, because seals are cute. And oh, this one's, yeah, they're really round sometimes. These are some environment exploration into what I initially imagined the abyss in my story looking like. I thought it would be really saturated and kind of barren and rocky, but with some oases of greenery. I'm not sticking with this, but these were just fun to experiment with. Oh yeah, this page is really busy. So these are, I was in a really big bout of inspiration here. I was doing a bunch of character interaction sketches between Flix and Licht. So this is because Flix is also a mage, so he goes out and collects ingredients for different potions and whatnot. And this is as Licht is growing up with him. He gets progressively taller and keeps helping Flix with his errands. He's teaching Licht to cast a spell. And so I imagine spellcasting involves, rather than saying something, you do a motion. And depending on like the breadth of the motion, like how exaggerated it is, the more effective a spell is. And this is also about how when Licht starts attending school to study magic, he has to wear a hat and either a shirt or a robe that's imbued with a spell to hide his physical features and make him look human. Because he's a demon, and if people saw like a demon just waltzing around in the streets, everyone would start freaking out and he'd probably get arrested and killed. So Flix imbues spells into the clothing, and he goes around wearing it, but he thinks the hat especially, this is what I initially thought the hat would look like, but I changed the design later. But when he wears the hat, he thinks it looks really stupid. So he doesn't like having to wear all that. And here I was working on cloak designs, because I was really struggling to think of what mages might wear. I was debating on whether to stick with what people usually think a wizard wears, which is like a pointy hat and this kind of robe. So I'm still thinking about that even now. And this is Licht at school. He's just trying to go around and just study magic and just get through the day. Random brief sketches of like what the school campus could look like, and also a drawing of a tree I saw, because I was sitting waiting outside and I just saw this tree and thought I might as well draw it while I was waiting. It was pretty fun. I was playing around with like the trunk too. I don't usually draw trees, so it was nice. And here, of course, there are more drawings of Licht, because like I said, I was really hyperfixating over this guy. So this is in the present time when he visits Mubrata and her mysterious estate somewhere in the abyss, and he meets some of her servants. So this is one guy named Levin. He can control lightning. He can wield lightning, kind of like zap zap. And he's just freaked out. He's a very anxious character, mainly due to her, because she's not a nice person. And so he visits unwillingly. That's a bit awkward. This is more planning for when Licht is attending school, so I imagine being a high schooler. Maybe college, though. I'm still not sure. This is one of his schoolmates, Orpheus. Everyone studies to be mage in the school, but he doesn't want to study to be a mage. He doesn't want to study magic. He wants to study apothecary, but his parents won't let him because they're forcing him to study magic so he can continue their lineage of mages. They're really well known, but he doesn't want to do that. So yeah, and then also playing one with possible uniforms. I don't really like these. They're kind of boring looking. So still working on that. More architecture studies, just for fun, to get a feel of the city as well. Lots to do. More sketches of, or doodles of Orfeo. He doesn't pay attention in class. He doesn't really talk to their students because they're all really passionate about magic. He's just not, though. So he thinks that's the only thing they want to talk about, which isn't true. And also in the story, I have it where Licht and Orfeo get paired up to do a project together, and he doesn't do any work at first. And he's just really upset about that. He's like, why did I get stuck with this guy? Here are more... oh yeah, more design exploration. But for demons. So... yeah, I was really trying to think about what the sins, because the 7 sins, I imagine the 7 sins as different species, different types of demons, you know, for variety. So this is like, we have the satyr for a wrath, maybe. Lust, I just thought of a generic imp. I don't really know what to do for lust. I was thinking about a rabbit because I was trying to relate them all the animals. So I was thinking of doing a rabbit, but I don't really want to do a rabbit. So lust demons are very tentative. But at the same time, I feel like I could still stick with this more human-looking design. Because I think I want to make it where lust demons visit the human world more than any other demon. To like prey on them and seduce them and stuff. Here are snake demons representing envy, maybe. I'm still really unsure on the animal representations. Okay, so with lust, we have these imps. Don't know. Serpents or snakes for envy. Satyrs for wrath, so like rams or sheep or something. Birds are for pride. I was thinking like peacocks, but also just other birds. Greed could be hyenas, maybe, or like, oh, maybe a raccoon, who knows. Locusts for gluttony, because they kind of raise fields and stuff, I was thinking. And then snails for sloth. Really subject to change here, but these are just first thoughts. Oh, and here I was drawing more satyrs for fun. Yeah, I really like drawing the legs like this. It's super fun. And yeah, I was just covering that just in case. Artistic nudity. Okay, and here I was taking a break, finally taking a break from drawing all the characters and working on all the world building stuff for servant stories, and I moved to a different story titled Locked Up. Still not sure about the title as well. So this is the chameleon guy from earlier, BO13, and he kind of has a crush on this other character of mine named Mal, D012. I don't know, their serial numbers are really, I'm not sure about them yet. Here I was trying to do a little height chart. This is BO13 next to Mal. Very interesting. Oh, he also has a tail. There's like a tail here, which is kind of cool. And this is another guy, Sitch. I really love this dude. He's like one of my favorite characters. Yeah, he's cool. He's an undead, you know, like Frankenstein's monster. Oh, in here. Okay. That was a brief intervention. Here I moved back to 7 stories again. Drawing Licht again. Oh, and also he has 4 arms initially, but as of like the present time in the story, he only has 3 because one of them gets cut off. And here I was trying to draw what I kind of thought would have happened for him to get his arm severed. So I thought he's kind of in the abyss somewhere, in maybe enemy territory, unknowingly. and he's trying to get ingredients or something for magic stuff. And then this other mythic guy, I imagine it being a pride demon, so some sort of bird humanoid. He comes up, he pulls up and just attacks this guy, basically, for no reason. I mean, yeah, he just does it out of nowhere. And he just leaves Leaf right here and just leaves him to die, basically, bleed out. Here is staff for the high school or college that Licht attends, where I was working on a uniform. You know, because they wear a uniform. So, yeah, just thinking of this, trying to make it more interesting. Wasn't really sure. Oh, and here I tried playing around with shape language, at least here, and then I tried determining other characters' shape language. I don't think I'm going to stick with that. Here's a quick sketch of a witch and a mage. They are at odds. Yeah, witches are honestly just misunderstood. And mages just don't care enough to take the time to understand them. So sad. Oh, here? This is a guy from a dream I had at the time. It was like a mix between a Kiss member, Wild Style from the Lego movie, and he had kind of a Japanese schoolboy uniform. It was really weird. And he had a Komodo dragon for a pet, but also like a henchman. And they were kidnapping kids for no reason. I think I was I wasn't one of the kids they kidnapped, but like, it was just weird. I don't know, I was just playing around with the design here. He got these heels, these big, chunky boots on too. And these are just sketches for another one of my stories, titled Scouts of the Subconscious. So it's like these kids who go around in an old man's dreams and investigate their mysteries. Here I was looking at some Turkish clothing for reference, because I kind of imagined in Sergia, the clothing is similar to traditional Turkish clothing, but I'm really not sure. You know, I really don't know. It was just a thought. These are simple character designs for 3 other characters who are part of the Scouts of the Subconscious story. I kind of imagine them being like bullies. Not evil bullies, but like kind of mean bullies. Yeah. And this is a meme redraw that I don't think I'm ever gonna finish. But yeah. Okay, we're reaching the end here. Another character whose name I don't remember. She does graffiti though. She writes graffiti, and I'm pretty sure she's Korean. Yeah, majored in cybersecurity, but then she dropped out to go make money illegally. And she is actually buddies with Mal, the masked dude you saw earlier, who the chameleon guy is interested in. And she was working for him until he got arrested. Yeah. And primary school, elementary school uniforms for no reason. Here I was redesigning 2 characters. This is Maul again. There's Sitch peeking out from the back. And this is another guy who lives in the same big facility that these guys are part of, but he's not a prisoner. He's not an inmate. He's what they call a deviant. So he's an alien from outer space. And the entire facility or organization that they are being held under is called the BDC, which stands for the Bureau of Deviant Containment. But they also house like criminals in a different sector as well. This is the girl from the last page, and another buddy who also works to hack into things. Here I was following a tutorial for calligraphy, I think. Calligraphy hyphen tutorial on doing a zoomorphic C. Pretty cool. I like how this turned out. Yeah. Another character who lives in the same facility this dude lives in. Her name's Fuchsia. She's a fish mutant. And here's the alien guy with a potential child. Still working on the designs. And yeah. These are just... I was really lacking inspiration here, so I just drew random faces on Pinterest. And also Ghostwriter. Oh, here is another character. Her name's Ghoulie. This is Domino. He's an object head. He has a bowling ball for a head. She's a ghost. They are buddies. They're pals. They're part of another story that I've called Skate Club. Yes. Yes. And here are other ghost designs that I made. I've made them more finalized now, but these are initial sketches that I made just to have variation. And another character, trying to get her kind of body type down. Her name's Lucinda. She's a vampire. And we are about reaching the end here. So these are just gesture drawings. I don't even know if they're called gesture drawings. Kinda. Yeah. I was just doing whatever. And this is just other notes in class work for my art class. So that's it. That's all from the lesson a year, last year 2024 sketchbook. I also forgot to talk about the stickers. I don't usually decorate the covers of my sketchbooks, but I tried doing that here a bit. I've been doing that more on my current one, which I'll show sometime. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Thank you.